You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Sister Wives fans, there is a lot of talk this week about Janelle's graceful way that she handled the topic of Kody on that episode, that very sad episode about Garrison's suicide. Viewers seemed very impressed by the way Janelle addressed Kody's estrangement from his grown kids. And as we saw, Kody's strained relationship with Garrison seemed to weigh very heavily on him. Before we dive into Janelle's incredible strength and compassion during one of the toughest episodes of Sister Wives we've ever seen, please click that subscribe button. Okay, so as the tragic events with Garrison unfolded, to her credit, Janelle never pointed fingers at Kody. She never condemned him for his estrangement from Garrison. Instead, Janelle focused on Garrison's last days and how she and his brothers and sisters tried to help him before he tragically took his own life. In comparison, it was obvious that Kody was struggling with guilt during this episode, as many people do after the suicide of a loved one. They ask, what they could have done, how they could have stopped it, could they have prevented it, all that. I'm sure went through the minds of everybody that Garrison loved and was loved, by him. So Kody's comments were very different from Janelle's, though. Talking to Robyn, we saw Kody try to explain some of his behavior towards his kids, including Garrison. Kody told Robyn that he never meant things to turn out like this, and Kody thought he would have plenty of time to make things right with Garrison, to make amends with those grown kids, and the fact that he never got to mend fences still haunts Kody. Meanwhile, Janelle's focus in the aftermath of Garrison's death was on her other children, especially Gabriel, who found Garrison's body and had to make the heartbreaking call to Janelle. We also learned on this episode that Maddie and her husband Caleb had become a much needed support system for Janelle. And as it turned out, Maddie and Caleb were also trying to help Garrison leading up to those days before his death. Maddie was looking into the Sister Wives camera, and she said that she and Caleb almost got Garrison to come be with them in North Carolina. Maddie wanted Garrison to move there, but then time ran out. Janelle and all of her kids knew Garrison was struggling, and Janelle had rallied his brothers and sisters to be a support system for Garrison before that awful day. And not only was Janelle texting Garrison several times a day, but so were Gabe and Maddie and Logan. And then when it came to Kody, viewers could see he was struggling to talk about Garrison's death, understandably. Kody seemed to struggle to find words to say. He told Robyn that he has a lot of what ifs that he asks himself, like, what if he had spent more time with Garrison? However, Kody also told Robyn that other people told him not to fall prey to the what if type of thinking, but Kody said he will continue to do it. It's part of his grieving process, but most of all, it keeps a connection going for Kody with Garrison. So Janelle talked in the past about how heartbroken and angry her kids were over Kody's lack of contact and how he just stepped out of their lives. So Janelle is very sadly aware of what Kody is wrestling with because he had fallen out of touch with Garrison before he died. But again, to her credit, Janelle didn't use this against Kody as, they were individually working through their grief over losing their son Garrison. And this has many Sister Wives viewers applauding Janelle for not piling on to Kody's grief. And a lot of fans were chiming in and agreeing with how Janelle handled it, saying, no matter how awful Kody might have been to his kids in the past, it's not appropriate to blame his estrangement with Garrison for what happened. No need to add to Kody's grief. So viewers watched in shock as Meri Brown found out about Garrison's death live on camera while filming a Sister Wives confessional. Kody called to personally deliver the news to Meri, and she just happened to be taping. And as she listened to Kody's call, you could just see this deep pain and this sadness just come over Meri's face. And Sister Wives fans noticed, and they're talking about commenting on Christina Meri's visceral reaction to this horrifying news that Garrison had taken his life. And it reminded fans that closeness that Meri and Christine had to all the kids in the family. You know, Robyn came into the family, I think, like 15 years into Kody's plural marriage with the other women to the start. So she wasn't there. Robyn wasn't there for the childhoods of these older kids, including Garrison. And so a lot of the older kids never really embraced Robyn as one of their shared moms. You know, fans have debated on social media whether Kody also doesn't see Robyn as a mom to his older kids either. Although Kody had pushed Robyn as another mother figure in the early years, it didn't manifest for the most part. And that brings us to what else he said in the episode about Garrison's death. Kody told Robyn, "I want to bring my boy home," when talking about where they should bury Garrison. So home to Kody is Wyoming, and he wanted to lay Garrison to rest with Grandma Cheryl, who, if you don't remember the name, that's Janelle's mom. But fans caught that Kody didn't say, "I want to bring our boy home," when talking to Robyn. Kody instead said, "my boy," not our boy. And it seems to show in some fans' opinions that he doesn't consider Robyn one of Garrison's mothers, like he probably does Meri, Christine, and Janelle. And viewers noticed that Robyn was solely focused on consoling Kody, but Meri and Christine reacted more in the same way that Janelle did, you know, Garrison's bio mom. Meri instantly went over to Kody's house because she knew Gwendolyn was there once she found out that Garrison took his life, so that Meri could comfort Gwendolyn. And then she reached out to Janelle to be there as a support for her during this dark time. Those co-parent instincts kicked in. Meanwhile, Robyn was reacting more as Kody's wife, not the co-parent of this young man who took his life. But again, what viewers seemed to notice most of all was Janelle's grace after losing Garrison in what had to be the darkest hour of her life. Despite Kody's estrangement from Garrison at the time of his death, Janelle never blamed Kody. And there are some viewers out there commenting on social media that are blaming Kody for some of Garrison's troubles. You know, during the pandemic and even after, Kody was harsh towards several of his sons on Sister Wives. We all saw it. But despite all of that, Janelle didn't lay into him. And if she has any negative thoughts about how Kody's behavior might have affected their son, she has not said so, not on camera, not on her socials, not anywhere that we've seen. This was, I think, you know, the most difficult episode of Sister Wives to watch. It was a low point for the Brown family, and what they've gone through losing Garrison is simply unimaginable.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.